This is going to be fun. We haven't even said anything yet. It's the Lady Brain Show with Steph and Lauren. We're back.
And we're smiling.
10%.
Yes.
A weekly interview series that focuses on lesbian, bisexual, gay, and transgender
LGBT
issues.
That's right. That's right.
It's a half-hour show on the Comcast Hometown Network, created and hosted by our guest, David Perry. For over 25 years, David has also specialized in working with nonprofits, the arts community, and small business. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you very much. And I don't know who that guy is, but he sounds cool. So, I'm married, but if I was single, no.
I date myself.
Yeah.
Or marry myself.
No, but seriously, I love doing 10%, but really, you gals have the hippest show on. I mean, Lady Brain is uber hip.
We got it on the mic. Can we isolate that?
And
David Perry says uber hip. Lady
uber
Brain.
hip.
I love it. Well, we share a TV station together on
We do.
Comcast 104, which is pretty awesome. I know. So we watch you watch us.
Yeah, I mean,
And then we get together.
it's a mutual admiration society.
It is.
But see, you guys talk about Astroglide.
We do.
That's right.
Personal lube.
We do.
I was impressed.
Have you ever tried Astroglide?
I have actually. I'm a satisfied customer.
Are you an original fan? Because that's my type.
I like the original stuff, like old Coca-Cola and Triscuits and stuff like that. So the stuff. I mean, why would you improve on lube? I mean, it kind of works or it doesn't, right?
Right. It works. It works all the time. They'll be pleased to know over at Astroglide that you're a fan. We're definitely going to isolate this one right here.
Well, let's talk about.
My husband's watching this going, I thought this was a clean show.
I thought
He's like, no, David, no, stop.
He went right to lube. Yeah.
It's a little dirty. Sorry,
That's
husband. Okay, let's talk about your show.
Yeah.
10%. Charlie Rose for the LGBT world.
Yeah, I mean, 3-4 years ago, Comcast came to me and said, we've seen you do your PR work. We've seen you on TV. I'd guest hosted a couple times. Do you have a concept for a new show? And I said, yeah, Charlie Rose. They said, well, that's an old show. I said, yeah, but I don't know. In a sense, I think the LGBT community sometimes always thinks we got to do something new and different and just a little queerer. And Charlie Rose is a great TV show. It's one person talking across a table and really listening. And I just think it's a great model.
It works.
It works.
And this is one classic that you might have maybe improved upon.
Well, I hope so. I mean, boy, if one of my goals would be to sit across from Charlie Rose or talk to him, that would be something. So if he's out there listening and he knows that he's got a gay journalist fan, I'm real happy.
Do you just, one of your dreams, I'm a big fan of, I've got a lot of dreams, and I like to write them down and I like to sort of visualize them happening. Have you actually visualized that experience where you're interviewing him?
Absolutely, and I'm a big believer in to-do lists, so you put it down. One day meet Charlie Rose, because if you can visualize it, one day it'll happen. When I was a little boy, I wrote down one day I'm going to go around the world, work my way around the world by ship, and 1998 I did it, went all the way around the world by ship. Greatest thing I ever did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
What kind of ship?
It was a cruise ship, and my job was writing the newspaper. It was my official midlife crisis, gave up my business and went around the world. But, and all kidding aside, there are not a lot of Americans who work in the cruise industry, really. I had 63 different nationalities on my trip, on my ship, and, over 50 countries I visited. And I came back and I realized if anyone ever comes to me and says, I got a crazy idea, I want to travel around the world for a year, ask me, because I'll say, do it. Best thing I ever did.
And here's where to go.
Yeah.
And here's where to work.
And here's where to work. That's right.
I think when stuff like that hits you and it stays with you and it's like that, it's that strong inside of you, you have to do those things.
I agree. There's a book called The Alchemist, I believe, and it talks about how if you want anything deeply enough, the universe conspires to give it to you. And I know that sounds kind of hippy-dippy,
No,
and I know we're
totally
in Berkeley,
I believe it.
but I really believe it. And when I went on the trip, I was scared to death and thought this year and a half will never be over. And here I am, 15 years later, and it was gone. So I have that memory. But what I believe is that travel is something that everyone should do, and especially Americans. I mean, I think Americans don't travel enough. Some of us barely get across the bridge, but I think Americans need to see the world.
Isn't there some crazy statistic about passports and the percentage of Americans who actually hold passports is
It's tiny.
It's not even half or
It's not
slightly
even
over
half.
Oh, no, nowhere near half, I bet. Yeah. Or, I mean, and some Americans travel so infrequently. I know some people who took their kids to Mexico. When they got to the airport, they realized their passports were expired. Like
Yeah.
they hadn't, it had
Didn't
been
even
that
occur to
long.
them.
Right.
Didn't even
yeah.
occur to them.
Didn't take the trip.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm proud. I mean, I love the United States of America. I love the world. I consider myself a citizen of the world. And one of the things I learned, and that was not 15 years ago, was it's very different being openly gay in, say, Oman or Jordan or India than it is in the United States. And that was 15 years ago. So I think nowadays we have a duty as Americans, and certainly as a gay man, to be out and travel the world and say, here I am.
And I'm
represent.
proud. And yeah, I'm here to represent.
And here's my Astroglide. Yeah,
right. And it, you know what? Conveniently placed in my breast pocket so that when I'm ready to use it, it's nice and warm.
Toasty.
Warm Astroglide.
Who wants cold Astroglide? You could be
No
in
one.
Russia in the dead of winter. Cold Astroglide kills the mood.
Yeah, microwave.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
I don't know if you should put your Astroglide in the microwave. Or you could
warm
try
pool
it.
of water.
A warm pool of water.
Let us know what happens.
Yeah.
If you do that. What are some of the topics that you cover on 10%?
Well, we do politics, we do art, we do cooking. I like trying to mix it up. I don't like it to be all serious. We do a lot of nonprofit work. I mean, I really believe that the show should be there to talk about the good work that people do, whether it's AIDS Emergency Fund, breast cancer awareness, Rainbow Honor Walk. But I also like having people on sometimes that I don't agree with. I remember a few months ago we had a guy on who was doing a marketing campaign about selling same-sex marriage. And he was straight. And I said, there's nothing wrong with being straight, but why do you think you have anything to tell me about, this? And he got kind of annoyed. And I thought it was one of the best shows we did, because I don't think it's all about agreeing with people. I think it's about stirring it up.
That's tough to do also. I mean, we've had people on the show that we have disagreed with, and there's that fine line, like, do you get in their face and say, I completely disagree with what you're saying? And when it comes to, like, this is how I live my life, don't you tell me how to do it? Or,
what do you do? I mean, if you have a guest on that really kind of pushes you, I mean, have you ever had anyone get up and take the headphones with them?
No one has ever walked out. No one. But I think we definitely had someone on a few weeks ago who I think we kind of scared. But he stuck with it, and we stuck with it, and then afterwards we were like,
we should have gone harder. We should have been harder on him.
Yeah.
Because he was just so out there and almost offensive. But you can work with that. I mean, but have you ever had someone that just doesn't talk?
No, we've never. No, somehow we've been. Have you?
A couple times it was kind of slow, and I could just, and I can just see them in the booth going, get him to talk, get him to talk.
And did you just break out into song at that point?
Well, no, I just tried to say, so let's tell me about your book. I mean, it's difficult to get persons to talk when they just shut down, and this person was just completely petrified.
Oh yeah, that's
tough.
And
that's hard.
That is tough when it's not flowing.
So you've got the show, and then you've got your business, your other business. That
we do.
You do.
I mean, we tape 10% once a month. We do 5 shows, and then I also have a public relations and graphic design business. And one of our largest clients is the city of San Francisco. So we work on large projects like Fleet Week, America's Cup. We do a public safety campaign called Home for Halloween, which encourages people to have a great time, put on a great costume, but please don't bring guns or too much alcohol to a party in the Castro. So it's a nice balance. I know. It sounds like a rough
Don't bring guns. I know. It's dangerous. I stay away from that scene.
Yeah. Someone was, there were 6 people shot a few years ago. So we got kind of a reputation from our PR work of telling people to keep things calm. Like we worked on Beta Breakers, tell people not to drink too much. And they said, you're trying to kill fun. I'm like, no, actually, I'm trying to keep women safe at 8 o'clock in the morning when there's a bunch of guys drinking too much. And let's be real, there was some stuff going on that was not cool.
Right.
So I like to balance my behind camera stuff with the on camera stuff.
How's it been working with the America's Cup? Are you?
Oh my God, it's so much fun. I mean, clearly, I went around the world by ship. If it has a hull and it's on water, I'm like there. America's Cup is the most exciting thing in the world, and the only international sporting event in the world next year in 2013. And San Francisco and the whole Bay Area has got it. It's a lot of fun. These sailors are incredible, but what I find really exciting is America's Cup is bringing a lot of economic development to San Francisco. It's bringing jobs.
Wonderful.
Jobs. So I think it's great that these people have these incredible boats, but what I think is really incredible is the economic development that's coming to the city.
And opportunity that it creates.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, it was so. I was in San Francisco for Fleet Week and the Blue Angels, and the America's Cup was doing their regatta. I guess they're just doing that kind of the drive-by, but they haven't had. Have they had the actual race yet? So when is that happening?
So that starts July 4th, 2013. It's called the Louis Vuitton Cup, and there are 5 countries competing, and then the winner of that series of races goes head-to-head with the USA team Oracle Team USA, and that
Yeah.
starts in late August, early September. It's hot. It's really hot.
And do you get to go on the
We're
boat?
going to have to give you
Yeah.
a call.
I wish I could go
USA
on the
boat?
boat. No,
Yeah.
I would love to. On the Navy boats, when Fleet Week's in town, we were able to get on the ships, and that was great. And I just have to say, give a little plug to the LGBT community. It was really moving for the first time to see men and women in uniform able to be themselves. It was the
Yes.
first Fleet Week since the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And I heard some people say, well, there's going to be no one in the cast, or they're going to be shy. I don't think so.
Were they all wearing their
They
their
were
uniforms?
all wearing their uniforms, and it wasn't Halloween. I mean, these were real men and women in uniform, and it was great to see.
We're so lucky to
We
be
are.
here in this time and experiencing all of this stuff. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And to be talking with you. So
Thank you.
David Perry, thanks for joining us on the show and telling us all about 10% and the work that you're doing in the rest of the world.
Thank you, and
everything
I
else.
hope you will come on my show 10%, and we can share the love.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And bring the Astroglide.
Absolutely.
We don't go anywhere without our Astroglide. Coming up next is advice, and you can sign up for our newsletter at theladybrainshow.com, and we'll be right back.